the summer of 2025, a piece of legislation known as the Big Beautiful Bill sent a seismic shock through the auto industry. One of its most debated provisions, the termination of the $7,500 federal tax credit for new electric vehicles. For some, it was a day of reckoning. For others, a cause for celebration. On one side of the digital divide, a chorus of skepticism erupted in joyous victory. People like Scotty Kilmer had been telling you for years, these electric cars are a solution looking for a problem. The government was propping them up with your tax dollars. Now that the free money's gone, we'll see how many people really want these glorified golf carts. Lauren Fix, the car coach, called it a win for consumer choice. The market, she argued, was being artificially manipulated. Now automakers will be forced to compete on a level playing field. If EVs are truly the superior technology, they shouldn't need a government handout to succeed. And over in Australia, guys like Anthony Albany, better known as M-Guy Australia, were celebrating, saying it's about time. They've been trying to shove these EVs down our throats, telling us they're saving the planet. What about the cobalt mines, he asks. What about the strain on the power grid, he opines. This end to the EV tax credit to these three non-thinkers is a victory for common sense and for the good old internal combustion engine. But for the innovators, the dreamers, and the ones betting on a cleaner future, the news was a body blow. Take a startup like Slate. They poured everything into their company. Their goal was to build an affordable, practical electric truck for the working person. That $7,500 credit was the bridge for so many families. Now they have people screaming, "Why would I pay more for your truck when I can get a Ford Maverick for the same price?" That sentiment is small-minded and shallow thinking because it only looks at the sticker price and not the total cost of ownership. It's just not the same thing. The Maverick is a great truck, but the Slate has no oil changes, no tune-ups, and the cost of fuel is a fraction of gasoline. They're selling a better technology, a better experience. But that initial price point, that's a tough hurdle to overcome without that credit. But for those who are capable of doing basic math, this isn't a deal breaker. But beyond the noise of the headlines and the anxieties of the market, a different story is unfolding. A story not in opinions, but in numbers. The narrative that the end of the tax credit means the end of the EV is fundamentally flawed. Let's look at the data. EV sales have seen year-over-year growth every single year since 2012. We're talking about a decade-plus trend that has weathered economic downturns and supply chain disruptions. The technology itself is a powerful force. The instant torque, the silent ride, the reduced maintenance, these are not gimmicks. They are tangible improvements to the driving experience. And perhaps the most telling statistic is the one you don't hear on the sensationalist YouTube channels, the return buyer rate. With loyalty rates over 90%, EV owners are choosing to buy another EV for their next vehicle. No other type of car in automotive history has commanded that level of loyalty. The Big Beautiful Bill may have ended a chapter, but it did not close the book. The initial sticker shock is real, and some startups will undoubtedly face a tougher road. But the future of the automobile isn't being decided by politicians or pundits. It's being forged in the labs of engineers and is being embraced by a growing wave of drivers who have experienced a better way to move. The electric vehicle is not the end of the car. It is the beginning of a new one. And that's a future that I believe is worth fighting for. Here at Jim's EV Adventures, I will continue to advocate for an all-electric future. Why? Because it is the right thing to do. It is the right side of history. And 40 to 50 years from now, when my grandchildren are literally watching this very video, they will know that their grandfather looked into the future and tried to help make their world a better place. Nobody operating a gasoline or diesel-powered vehicle will be able to make that claim. Why? Because my grandchildren will very likely still be cleaning up the mess that we've left behind for them to clean up. And let's be perfectly clear about what that mess really is. It is the cost of increased pollution. It is the cost of increased asthma in our children. It is the cost of increased cancer rates and the cost of the transfer of wealth from hard-working Americans to big oil cartels and foreign interests. So when you see people celebrating the end of the EV tax credit, what they are really celebrating is a dirtier planet and a sicker population and less money in their pockets. And for me, there's nothing big or beautiful about that at all.